article, The Astronaut Who Might Actually Get Us to Mars. It is going to be published on February 2018, so now I'm looking at the early release version of this non-fictional work. So the article actually talks about the main character, Franklin, who first becomes an astronaut and then uses his expertise in this field to build a revolutionary engine that could possibly bring us to Mars in a very short time. So the author actually points out the main idea of the article in the very beginning. She said, instead of showing dramatizing the direct path from the initial spark of idea to its realization, she actually tried to show the hard work and feel tense behind all these glory paths, and try to show the realistic struggle of these scientists. So this is a creative nonfiction because of the several characteristics it has as a nonfiction work. First, in the hook, instead of directly go to the subject, the author actually uses the example of another space scientist, John Hobart, who uses a very unconventional and risky idea that completely changes how NASA approach the problem. And from there, since it's a very realistic and familiar example to a lot of the readers, yes, the author is able to introduce the main subject, Franklin, and his product, which would bring us to Mars. The second characteristics of the creative nonfiction the article has is a scene-by-scene writing. So instead of giving all abstract summaries about the engine throughout the reading, the author actually gives a lot of realistic and detailed examples in this article. So for example, here, when she describes how she first met Franklin, she talks about how the office looked like, how the company looked like, as well as the main character, how Franklin looked like. And in there, she uses a lot of creative diction and very descriptional diction. For example, wrinkless, 67 years old with a boyish mop of dark hair. These all attract readers to and give readers a really realistic sense of how the subjects they're talking about actually look like, and really not just have abstract ideas, but really have a detailed impression about them. So the second thing I want to talk about is the interpretive lens. An interesting fact when I started reading this article is because of my background as a very science student, and also my expectation on the article to be explaining the mechanism behind these technologies. So when I was reading this article, I actually actively searching for these details. However, I couldn't find any. So this left me the first impression of this article to be really real and very ideological. However, in the second time when I was trying to read the article, I'm aware of that interpretive lens, and I could grab more detail and more the author's emotion and her idea and what she tried to express in this article. The third thing I'm actually trying to talk about is the context behind the reading. So the author, who is Katie Vine, she actually writes a wide range of topics, including hip-hop legend, the West fertilizer explosion, and barbecues at Pit Masters. So she actually graduated as a fiction writing student. However, later she found out her passion is actually writing nonfiction. So that explains a lot how why she writes in this style of nonfiction, and a lot of the diction she uses in describing the subject. Also, I find this article very positive about the technology. Instead of she didn't even talk about the possible drawbacks and challenges behind Vesmer. So after that, I did a little bit of research and find out actually the article is published after the success in the phase 2 testing of the engine. So the passes of the testing shows a hype that this engine may possibly become the bright future of our traveling to Mars, as well as a future space exploration.